My name's Joella. Thanks for joining me for yoga this morning. We're going to get started on our back so you can start making your way down to your mat. I just want to remind everybody to please make sure you're listening to your body, take any modifications that you need. I will cue for some as we move through our practice. And then, as always, please make sure that you've checked with a healthcare provider before starting a new exercise routine. So when you're ready, go ahead and come on down to the floor. We're going to start in a Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle pose. So when you lay down on your back, you can bring the soles of your feet together and open your knees out to the side. So if that feels really uncomfortable and really stressful in your body, there's a couple things you can do. If you have blocks at home, you can put blocks on an angle right here under your knees to give you a little support there. If you don't have blocks, you can also put pillows or blankets or whatever you have, and if that's still just not working for you or you don't have those things at home, go ahead and just put your feet flat to the floor, knees pointing up to the ceiling. But find the position that feels comfortable in your body. And you can close your eyes. Just begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And sigh it out your mouth. Two more like that. Nice deep inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale, sigh it out. Now beginning to breathe just in and out your nose. Nice deep inhales and then nice long exhales out your nose, getting out all the air that gets trapped down in your lungs throughout the day. Again, inhale. And exhale. This time inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. Again, in 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Out 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one in 5, 4, 3, 2. Out 5, 4, 3, 2. Just breathe naturally. One more breath before we begin to move. And then gently use your hands to bring your knees back up to center if they were open in Baddha Konasana. And we're going to cross our right ankle over our left. So foot flexed. And we're just going to stay here for now. And then just gently use your right hand to open up your right knee. Another breath here. Uncross your right leg and then cross your left leg over. And gently using your left hand to open up that left knee a little more. Left foot flexed. One more breath. Uncross your left knee. Hug both knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side, massaging your low back. And then extend your legs towards the ceiling. Hands down by your side. Inhale here and exhale. Peel your shoulders, head up, and arms up off the floor. Inhale here. Exhale. Left leg comes down to the ground, hovering about an inch. Inhale. Back to center. Exhale, right leg down. Inhale, center. Exhale, left leg down. Inhale, center. Exhale, right leg.
Where are you trained today?
Inhale, center. One more time each side. Exhale, left leg down. Inhale, center. Exhale, right leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, hug both knees into your chest. Again, rocking from side to side. And then release your left leg down to the mat, keeping your right leg hugged in. Rekapada Apanasana. And then engage that left leg like you were standing up on it. So inner left thigh swinging down towards the floor, toes and knees pointing up towards the sky. Outer left hip hugging in. On your next exhale, hugging your left knee into your chest. Extending your right leg down your mat. Toe and knees pointing up to the sky. Inner thigh spinning down towards the floor. Outer right hip hugging in. And then hug your right knee into your chest. Rock forward and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then come up and over and meet in downward facing dog. This is our first down dog. Hips lifted up to the sky, hands shoulder distance apart, maybe slightly wider if you're tight through your chest and your back. Feet about hips distance apart, heels lifted right up over our second toes. So pressing down through your whole palm as your forearm lifts up and your outer arm wraps in, making space across your collarbone so your ears are right between your biceps. Hips lifting up towards the sky, making space through your spine. Little bend in your knees, allowing you to lift your hips up a little further. Spinning your inner thighs back. Exhale here, inhale forward, plank pose. Lifting your front hip points up towards your low ribs, spine is long. Collarbone broadens forward, gaze is forward of your hands. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. And again, inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time, inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here. Hinge forward again. This time, let's place our knees down to the floor. And then shoulders come forward over our fingertips and chaturanga with our knees down, lowering all the way down to the floor, keeping our outer upper arms wrapped in. From here, release your hands down by your side. Outer hips hugging in, pressing the tops of your feet down to the floor. Hands facing in toward your hips. Exhale here. Inhale, chest, shoulders, head, arms all lift. Breathing here, pressing down to the tops of your feet, lifting your thighs up, tailbone lengthening towards the backs of your heels. Back of your neck's long, so your gaze is down towards the floor. You're not craning it up. And exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, chest, shoulders, arms lift. Exhale, release. Last time. Inhale, chest, shoulders, arms lift. Maybe your legs lift. Thighs still spinning up towards the sky. Exhale, lower down. Hands come under your shoulders and then scooch them back so that your wrists are right underneath of your elbows. Tucking your toes under. Press the balls of your feet down to the floor as your thighs lift up, your tailbone lengthens back. So your front hip points lifting towards your low ribs. Exhale here. Inhale, upward facing dog on the balls of your feet. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, pressing down through your hands. Sternum moving forward between your arms. Inner thighs still spinning up. One more breath. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Next exhale, look towards your hands and step your right foot up to the inside of your right thumb, making space across your collarbone here, like you were in your half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Outer hips hugging in, so just fingertips down to the ground. And exhale, left foot steps forward to meet the right. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, right back down. This time, right foot steps back. Again, like you were finding your Ardha Uttanasana here. Right heel reaches back, broadening across your collarbone, finding length through your spine. Outer left hip hugs in. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, hinge forward, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, outer upper arms wrapping in. Inhale, cobra, maybe upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog, and pause. One more breath. Right foot steps forward. Exhale, left foot meets it. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Right foot steps back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog, and pause. Inhale your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Toes and knees pointing down toward the floor so that you're squeezing your inner thighs together and your outer hips in. Exhale, right foot steps forward to the inside of your right hand. Heel toe your right foot over to the midline and spin your left heel down so you're lined up heel to arch. Inhale up for warrior two. So shoulders are over your hips and squared toward the long edge of your mat. That outer leg is, your back leg is spinning in, so you're pressing down to the outer edge of that right foot. Breathing here. You're gonna exhale here, inhale, straighten through your right leg. Think of lifting this front hip point away from that thigh bone, and exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, hold. And exhale, reach your right hand towards the right rib cage towards the right. Bring your elbow down to your right leg. Left hand comes up and over. Parsva Konasana. Keeping that back inner left thigh engaged. So lifting up on that quadricep and spinning it in as your outer edge of your foot presses down. Making space between your right hip point and your rib cage. So we're not rounding through our back, but lifting up, lengthening your rib cage forward. One more breath here. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, hold. Inhale, straighten through that right leg. And exhale, Trikonasana triangle pose. So your right hand reaches to the right, your pelvis tilts to the right. Right hand comes down to the inside or outside of that right leg. Left hand is up to the ceiling, right above your shoulders, so not reaching way back. You can look up to the sky if that feels all right on your neck. Making space in your torso here, space through your spine. That right hip and glute cheek wraps under. One more breath. And then from right here, begin to bend that right leg, coming back into Parsva Konasana. Tailbone lengthening towards the back heel, right glute cheek wrapping under. Exhale, look down towards your right foot. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, hold. Inhale, straighten that right leg, hands to your hips. And then turn your feet so they're parallel to the short edges of your mat and each other. Inhale, standing up nice and tall here, pressing down through all four corners of your feet, lifting up through your quadriceps. And exhale, forward fold. Your pelvis tilts forward. Little bend in your knees. Hands can come wherever they reach. So your thighs, shins, maybe to the floor. Pressing down through your feet, lifting up through your quadriceps. Think of your sits bones pulling together. Protecting where your hamstrings meet. Then exhale. Maybe softening forward a little further. One more breath here. Walking your hands back out under your shoulders. Little bend in your knees. Bring your hands up to your hips, elbows pointing up to the sky, and come back up to a standing position. From here, we're going to internally rotate that right leg, externally rotate our left leg, bending that left knee right over top of our left ankle. Inhale, arms out to a T. Warrior two. You can gaze out over your left hand. Inhale, straightening through that left leg, lifting that left hip point up and away from your thigh. Exhale, lower down, pressing down through the right edge of your back, the back edge of your right foot. Inhale, lengthen through your left leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Hold here. Inhale, hold. Exhale, bring your left hand over to the right, to the left, placing your elbow down to your leg. Right hand comes up and over. So, nice long line from your fingertips to the outer edge of that right foot. Right inner thigh spins in. Left inner thigh is reaching up and over as that left glute cheek wraps under. Tailbone lengthening down towards your heel. You can look up under your right arm. One more breath here. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, hold. Inhale, straighten through that left leg. And exhale, Trikonasana triangle pose. Left hand reaches towards the left side, coming down to the inside or outside of that left leg. You can, again, look up at that right hand if that feels okay on your neck. That inner right thigh is still spinning in. Outer left glute cheek still wrapping under. Pressing down through the ball of your left foot, lifting up on your left quadricep. One more breath. Exhale, looking down towards that left hand. And bend that left leg. Coming right into Parsvakonasana. That right hand can reach up towards the sky. Nice and long here. Exhale here. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale, hold. Inhale, straightening that right leg. Hands to your hips, spinning your feet to the side. Go ahead and heel toe your feet together, slightly wider than hips distance, and then slightly turned out so your toes are pointing like up to the left corners of your mat. And from here, exhale, hips come straight down into Malasana yogi squat, or garland pose. You can rock from side to side a little, and then find stillness in the center, pressing down through all four corners of your feet. If you have any knee issues, you may not want to come all the way down. You can stay in like a goddess pose so that your hips are above your knees and knees are behind your ankles. But if that's not a concern for you, this can feel really nice. I think it feels good in your hips. But making your spine long here. Pressing your elbows into your thighs. Bringing your shoulder blades slightly together, pressing forward into your rib cage. One more breath. Go ahead, inhale, press down through your feet and stand back up. And then spin your toes forward. Again, still slightly wider than hips distance. Inhale, stand up nice and tall. Feel for your hip points. And then exhale, forward fold here. Pelvis tilts forward. A little bend in your knees. And reach down and wrap your peace finger, so your pointer finger and your middle finger, around your big toe. And then use that to use your arms to gently deepen this fold for you. Breathing here. One more breath here. Again, you can release your hands to your hips, elbows pointing up to the sky, and come stand up nice and tall. Go ahead and step your feet back out. We're just gonna flow back into our downward facing dog. So hands frame that right foot and step it back. One more breath here in downward dog. Inhale your left leg up and back, three-legged dog, toes and knees pointing down towards the floor, outer hips hugging in, inner thighs squeezing together, pressing evenly through your hands. Exhale, left foot steps up. Inhale, right foot meets it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, hips sink back, Utkatasana, chair pose. So lifting your front hip points up and away from your thighs, pressing down through your feet, spine's nice and long, outer upper arms wrapping in. Exhale your hands behind you, hinge forward slightly. So palms facing together, broadening across your collarbone, like you were about to dive off of a diving board. Pressing down through your feet, inhale, stand up, arms come forward and up, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, float or step back, Chaturanga. Landing with bent elbows if you float. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward dog. Breathing here. Right foot steps forward to the inside of your right thumb. And we're going to spin our left heel down, but keeping our feet hips distance apart. Maybe you line your heels up, heel to heel. But for most of us, hips distance apart is going to be a safer option for our low back. So pressing down through the outer edge of that back foot, just like we do in Warrior 1 or Warrior 2. That inner thigh pushing up, spinning in. Pressing down through this right foot, knee right over top of our right ankle. Outer hips really hugging in here. Inhale, arms forward and up for Virabhadrasana 1. Think of your front hip points really lifting up and away from your thigh bones. Again, protecting our low back here. Breathing here. Exhale your hands down by your sides and then behind your back, and interlace your hands. If that's too much, you can interlace your thumbs, or you can just skip it and put your hands on your hips. So inhale, stand up nice and tall, legs still engaged, nice and strong, and exhale, hinge forward, coming into humble warrior. Making sure that that right hip is still really hugging in here, so we're not just letting it fall out to the side. One more breath. Inhale, releasing your hands, nice and controlled, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down to frame that right foot, spinning your left foot, heel up, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Left foot steps forward to the inside of your left thumb. And our right heel this time spins down, pressing down through the outer edge of the right foot. Right inner thigh spins up, left hip hugs in. Inhale, your arms forward and up, Virabhadrasana 1. Breathing here, hip points lifting up and away, really strongly lifting up. One more breath here. Exhale, your hands down by your side, behind your back. Interlace your fingers, maybe the opposite side this time, so opposite hand on top. Inhale here, stand up nice and tall, and then exhale, forward fold, coming into humble warrior. Reaching the crown of your head forward, left thigh still really hugging in, so we're not dropping out to our left. Pressing down to the big toe mound of that left foot. One more breath. Releasing your hands nice and controlled, coming back up to Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, hands come down to frame that left foot, right heel spins up, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhale your right leg up and back, three-legged dog, and then exhale, step it forward to the outside of that right hand. So it's slightly turned out for lizard pose. So hands are right underneath of your shoulder. That right knee is glued to your right tricep. Outer hips hugging in. That back leg is super strong. So you're pressing your left thigh up into your thigh bone. As your tailbone lengthens back towards that back heel, pressing down to the ball of your foot. Collarbone is broad here, gazing forward slightly. One more breath here. And then step it back to downward facing dog. Other side, left foot lifts up, three-legged dog. Steps forward to the outside of that left hand. Hugging your left knee in to your left tricep, hands, wrists right underneath of your shoulders. Pressing down through your right ball of your foot, lifting up through that quad, pressing it up into that thigh bone as your tailbone lengthens back. Collarbone broadens, gaze comes forward in front of your fingertips. Breathing here. Stepping your left foot back to downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. And exhale, step it forward in between your hands. So just to the inside of your right thumb. Heel toe it to the midline, spin your left heel down. Come up for warrior two again. This time, straighten through that right leg. Let's put our hands to our hips. Spin your feet to the side, and we're going to come into a side lunge. So open your toes out towards the corners a little bit, and then bend down into that right leg, lifting up on your left toes, maybe heel toeing it out to make a little more space. Again, now if you have any knee issues, you might want to keep your hips up above your knees. down through this left foot, broadening across your collarbones. Hands can just come in front of you. The knee and toe of this left leg spin up. One more breath. I feel a nice opening here, that inner thigh. Exhale here, and inhale, kind of like Spider-Man, walk your hands across your mat and bring that lunge down into the left side. So toes and knees of that right leg pointing up, pressing down into this left foot, broadening across your collarbone, breathing here. One more breath. Walking your hands back through center, and this time finding yourself in a forward fold, pausing here. Hands to your hips, pressing down through your feet, lifting up through your quadriceps, elbows pointing to the sky, come up to stand. We're going to spin our right leg in, externally rotate that left leg, come into warrior two on the left, just for a beat. Exhale your hands down to either side of that left foot, so we're now facing what was the back of our mat, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Lift your left foot up, three-legged dog, and exhale, step it through to the inside of that left thumb. And inhale your arms forward and up, high lunge. A little bend in that back knee. This time our back heel is lifted, so it's Anjaneyasana. Lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your hip points up. Maybe feeling a stretch across this hip flexor and this right quad. Arms forward and up. One more breath. Outer hips hugging in. Pressing down through that left foot. Hinge forward. Arms come behind you by your hips. Pressing down through that left foot. Lift up through that left quad. And gently bring that right leg up to hip height for Virabhadrasana 3. Set back leg straight. Nice long line from the crown of your head to your heels. Broadening through your collarbone here. Bringing your shoulder blades together. Hands can just stay here by your side for our purposes today. One more breath. And exhale, coming out of it like it was nothing. Stepping your right foot back. And a high lunge. Exhale, hands come down to frame that left foot. Stepping that left leg up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg steps forward to the inside of your right thumb. Left heel stays lifted. Feet are on railroad tracks here, outer hips hugging in. Little micro bend in that back knee. Your hands come forward and up. Anjaneyasana on the right side. Lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your hands up. My calves are nuts, sorry. Oh, now my dog's here. Exhale, hinge forward slightly, hands come back by your hips, pressing down through this right foot, lifting up through your right quadricep, left leg comes up to hip height, toes and knees pointing down to the floor, outer hips really hugging in, broadening across your collarbone, shoulder blades squeezing together slightly. One more breath here. Nice and controlled, bending through that right leg, left foot comes back to the back of your mat. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands down to frame that right foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms forward and up. Utkatasana, chair pose. Hips sink back, hip points lifting up. Spine nice and long, pressing down through your feet. Inhale, stand up nice and tall. And then exhale right away, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Stepping your feet back to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's step our right foot up to the outside of our right hand again. So coming back into this lizard pose. Wrists right underneath of your shoulders. Outer hips really hugging in here. And then gently place your left knee down to the floor. So if this feels uncomfortable for you, you can roll up your mat and place it underneath your knee. Or if you have a blanket or pillow or something handy, you can place it under as well. So a few options. You can stay right here, or you can swim this right arm back, really pressing down to the left hand right underneath your shoulder, swimming your hand back, and see if you can catch your foot here. So really having to hug in our outer hips here so we're not falling out to one side or the other. Maybe you spin out this right leg a little bit so you're coming to the outer edge of the right foot. But again, only if this feels good in your body. If anything feels uncomfortable, just stop where you were. But find length through the crown of your head so that we're not like doing a major back bend here, but just twisting. One more breath. And then bringing your right foot back to center, releasing your left leg, not like a slingshot, gently bringing it down, unwinding your right hand to the inside of your right foot, curling your toes under, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Other side, left foot's gonna step forward to the outside of our left hand. So hugging our outer hips in, pressing down to the ball of that foot, and lifting up on that right thigh before it goes anywhere. Broadening through your collarbone, pressing down through your hands. Then gently release that right knee to the floor. Pressing down through the right hand, right underneath of your shoulder, and swimming your left hand back behind you. And then reaching, maybe it touches your right foot. Allowing your hips to come forward, feeling a stretch maybe through that quad and hip flexor. And then again, opening up that left leg, coming to that outer edge of that left foot. But keeping it contained here, finding the muscle engagement. So we're not just like letting our leg flop out to the side, but hugging our hips in, finding length through our spine. One more breath. Bringing that left knee back to center if it was turned out. Releasing our right foot. Left hand comes down to the inside of the left foot. Tucking your right toes under, lifting that right knee. Step it back. Downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale, knee comes forward towards your nose. Rounding through your back like in a cat pose. Inhale, leg extends behind you, outer upper arms wrap in. Exhale, knee comes over to your right tricep. Inhale, stepping it back behind you. Exhale, crosses your midline, comes over towards your left tricep. Inhale it back. Exhale, sit it down, downward facing dog. Other side. Left foot lifts up. Exhale, knee to nose like cat pose, rounding through your back. Inhale, pressing through your hands, outer upper arms wrapping in. Exhale, knee to your left tricep. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, knee comes over to your right tricep. Crossing the midline. Inhale it back. Exhale, down. One more breath here in downward facing dog. Stepping your right foot forward, the inside of that right hand. Heel toeing it over behind your left wrist. Your right knee comes down behind your right wrist. Coming into pigeon pose. Walk your left leg back. It's still right behind that hip socket, so it didn't go out to the side. Hips are still right over top of the midline and even. Hip points lifting up towards your low ribs. Sitting up nice and tall here. If you have a block or a pillow or blanket, you want to put it underneath of that right hip, you can do that here. Breathing here. Lifting your low back ribs up and away from your sacrum, making space in your low back. Bringing your shoulder blades gently together, pressing them forward slightly into your rib cage. Maybe peek up in a little back bend. One more breath. Exhale, hands come back down to the floor right underneath of your shoulders, tucking your left toes under, stepping it back, downward facing dog. Other side, left foot, steps forward. Heel toeing it over to the right, coming behind your right wrist. Left knee comes down behind your left wrist. And your right leg wiggles back directly behind your hip, uncurling your toes. Lengthening your tailbone down, lifting your front hip points up. Maybe putting something to support your body right underneath of that left hip. Lifting your back ribs up and away from your sacrum. Shoulder blades gently squeezing together. Broadening across your collarbone. Peeking up, a little back bend. Breathing here. One more breath. Hands come back down to the floor underneath your shoulders, tucking your right toes under, lifting your hips, stepping that left leg up and back, downward facing dog. Gently release your knees down to the floor. Bring them wide so mat's distance apart, and bring your hips back to your heels. In child's pose, Balasana. Just breathe here. Inhale, walk your hands in, come up to a seated position. And then bring your legs around you. I'm going to spin back around. You can face whatever way you want to face. Legs coming just in front of you. Stay up nice and tall, Dandasana. Hands down to your side. Spine nice and long. You can sit up on a block or pillow or blanket or roll up your mat. Here it might be beneficial if you're tight through your hip flexors, the fronts of your hip creases. One more breath here. And then exhale, walk your hands forward, tilting from your pelvis, little bend in your knees. Forward fold. Maybe you can reach forward and reach for your feet. If not, no big deal. Stay where you are today, what feels best in your body. Work where you are, and then over time, you'll move forward. And even if you were doing it yesterday, today you can't. That's totally normal too. Body changes from day to day. Work where you are right now. Inhale, walk your hands back in, come back up to a seated position. Okay, so we're going to place our hands behind us, hinging back slightly. Fingertips facing forward, so look towards our bum or our feet. You're gonna press down through your hands, outer upper arms really wrapping in here, so your triceps wrapping in, pressing down through your hands like your palm was a suction cup, like gripping the mat. Exhale here. Inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky for a reverse plank. Nice long line from the crown of your head down to your feet. Making space through your low back, lifting your hip points up, wrapping your inner thighs down, toes and knees pointed up to the ceiling. And exhale, lower it down. Always an option when we do this to place your feet flat to the floor as well. So whatever feels best for you. We're gonna do that 2 more times. You got it. Toes and knees pointed up. So your inner thighs, I say this like every single class a million times. Inner thighs are wrapping down, really pressing down into that thigh bone. So pressing down through your hands. Exhale here. Inhale, hips lift. You can keep your chin to your chest if that feels better, or you can release it back. 1 more breath, and exhale, lower down. All right, almost there, 1 more time. Fingers facing forward. Exhale here. Inhale, hips lift. Lengthening your tailbone down towards your heels. Inner thighs spinning in. Broadening across your collarbone, pressing down through your hands. Exhale, release. Taking a moment here, sit up nice and tall. Don't bend forward yet, even though it really feels like you want to. At least in my body it does. We need our spine to neutralize a little bit. Dandasana. 1 more breath. And now exhale, hinging from your hips, nice and slowly, listening to your body. Forward fold over your legs. Spine's long. Lengthening on your inhale, softening on your exhale. Inhale, sitting back up, and then slowly making your way down to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side. Taking a little twist here. Let's walk our knees over towards, our hips over to the right. Hands come out to a T, maybe goal post. Gently bringing your knees from right over top of your hips over to the left. You can look out over your right arm if that feels okay in your neck. For me, I prefer to just look up to the sky. Inhaling your knees back up through center. Scoot your hips over to the left. Bring your knees back up over your hips. And then exhale, allow them to gently come over to the right. Bring your gaze wherever is comfortable in your neck. Slowly bringing your knees back up through center. And then make your way into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. Just coming into whatever position feels right in your body. You can release your hands down by your side or have them on your belly. Knees can be bent or straight. Maybe you have props you can place behind your knees. Whatever feels right. But take the time to find a position where you can be comfortable and kind of let go for a minute. Let your body feel heavy. Allow your breath to just soften and be natural. Slowly bring your awareness back to your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Hug your knees into your chest. Gently roll to one side and then make your way up to a comfortable seated position. We'll take one more breath together before we complete our practice. Nice deep inhale, reaching your arms out and up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. Namaste. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Again, my name's Joella. Feel free to check out any of my classes. I'll be back tomorrow with Total Body Conditioning at 5 p.m. Thank you. Have a good one.